In BIM workflows, the IDS format is becoming increasingly important and significant as it continues to gain more recognition. By IDS, just to remind you, I mean the information delivery specification. In other words, the information specification that used to be provided to us in paper format is now more and more often being delivered directly in a digital format, namely the IDS. What can the IDS contain? The IDS can contain, for example, a check on what the dimensions of a door opening should be. And so here we have information stating that the door opening must be at least 1 meter wide. When I feed an IDS file directly into Allplan will present me with a series of alerts that proactively inform me if there is something wrong within my model. Let's try to see what kind of assessments we can make thanks to this type of IDS format. First of all, I'd like to remind you that if you want to find specifications or detailed information about this type of format, you just need to visit the Building Smart Italy website. Then I'd like to remind you that the IDS can be generated with a multitude of tools. Today I will be using Solibri DDS editor, but there are many tools available that can generate this file. Most likely many of you will never actually create an IDS, but will simply receive it directly from your BIM manager or from your client. So let's move into the Solibri DDS editor, which is a specialized software tool where I have already defined my rules in detail. I can then download these rules as a file to my computer, and after that I'm able to upload them in the project settings for further use. So now at this point, I'm going to load a specific IDS, which stands for Information Delivery Specification, that refers specifically to the windows and doors in the project. If I click OK and select a window or door, I can see that in the Properties palette, a PCT has been automatically created, request and information specification for windows and doors, with a whole series of alerts. What are alerts? Essentially, they are mandatory requirements that I will need to fill in. All of this can be done directly from the Properties palette, or even more conveniently, directly from the Information palette by enabling the IDS violations filter. So right from here, I can, for example, enter the model name and the manufacturer's name. Of course, I'd like to remind you that when I enter this information in the Information palette, I will also find it directly in the Properties palette, precisely because it is information directly linked to that object. An extremely important aspect of this version of Allplan is the fact that I can load multiple IDS files at the same time, such as door measurements, room names, load-bearing structures, and windows and doors, as we saw earlier. So I will tell it analyze all these IDS files simultaneously. Let's try, for example, to select this type of door. In addition to the requirements from the information specification regarding windows and doors, we also have one concerning the door measurements. The door must be at least 1 meter wide, so since it is only 80 centimeters, I received an alert. All I need to do is change the characteristics of that opening, and at this point the alert has been removed. Let's try selecting this pillar. Here, it's quite interesting that the condition is linked to whether or not that pillar is load-bearing. If it is load-bearing, I need to fill out all these types of requirements. So whether we have a certification or not, I will have to specify that information. To facilitate all the assignment phases, I can use the IDS violations filter available directly within the information palette, which allows me to isolate in a single space all the information that needs to be pre-filled. So here we find Allplan RC3 maximum, which I entered earlier, and conversely, all the values in red will need to be filled in so that there are no more violations.